church. We are a family. Welcome to our visitors. You know God will meet your need in this place of liberty. You will receive your miracle. You will receive your blessing and testify of the goodness of God for generations to come. Together we stand united, believing in miracles. We believe we receive it, believe we are, and it shall be permanent. We are the prophetic church. God is the spirit today. Let us worship our God with our voices and praise. Bless our home, bless our family. Let us worship our God with our voices and praise. Bless our home, bless our family.
Greetings, everyone, and shalom, everyone. I'd like to welcome everyone else who is in this conference room, those watching on Prophetic Channel, watching across the world. I'm being told that Prophetic Channel viewers, those watching in the conference room, and all the viewers are watching tonight. We have over 11 million people tonight who are watching this address. It is of great importance to recognize your love and acknowledge how powerful your love has been throughout the journey. Today, it has been a prompt call that I've called for all of you to be here and to listen to my speech. As we all know, I am Prophet Shepherd Bushiri, the founder and president of the Enlightened Christian Gathering Church. I do have followers, including yourselves, that I owe explanations when some matters arise. It is of great recognition that I have to recognize your tireless love and also your tireless support. As a common say, here in South Africa, our followers have always been singing the famous and common song, Kai Kapakai. I'd like to say these words to all of you who are watching today, more especially to our followers and our members. I've been in South Africa. I came in South Africa some few years ago, and since I came in this country, I have been going through a lot of investigations. And this investigation starts from my own wife. She has been investigated. As I'm speaking, my own two kids, one who is 7 years and one who is 5 years, they're also all being investigated. These investigations have been ranging from one investigation to another investigation. I'm a person who believes in the law and who respects the law. I am not standing against all the investigations that are happening around us and against us. No, I am not immune to any investigation. I am a person like any other person, and therefore, any investigation about me is acceptable as long as it is happening within the ethics of the law, as well as they are being done with merit. Shockingly, most of the investigations that have been happening against me, I'm saying against, not about, because most of these investigations are completely happening outside of the law. Shockingly, most of the investigations that are happening against me have been investigations that are associated to extortion as well as to blackmail. I'm saying this, as I said prior, to say I am not immune to any investigation that can happen against me or against my church. We need these investigations to happen, but they must happen, as I said, within the ethics of the law. I find most of these investigations unconstitutional, and most of them are persecution based. As we are all aware that our church within a few years has grown very big, and we have managed to do a lot of things and achieve a lot of things in the body of Christ, ranging from winning souls, preaching to people, and our church growing from branches to branches. This has not been well with so many people who have decided to take this thing personal out of jealousy, some out of envy, and some out of being used by the devil. Not only that, as a person, the Lord has blessed me with different business ideologies, and as other media houses have said, that I'm one of the well-to-do pastors in the world. This also has not gone well with some of the people who love corruption and love money more than justice. And they decided to use such type of opportunities, to use blackmail methods to get money from myself and my family. Not only me, but also some of the leaders in the church. I am here to strongly, with strong terms, want to warn all the people who are doing this behavior that we as a church, we're also humans, and we have got our own human rights, and we will not stay quiet on such type of behavior, but seek justice. We are not against any investigation happening around us, and I repeat, I don't want any person to misquote me, but we are saying the investigations must happen within the ethics of the law and the justice system. As we're all aware, ladies and gentlemen, that sometime when the enmity of people started rising because of the preaching of the word, and as well as of the spontaneous growth of the church, we have gone through so many things that I've gone through, including the burning of our church. I'm going to show you a small video when our church was, our miracle tents, which we've been using in Pretoria, showgrounds were burnt. And this was a day that we had a service in another hall, and in our overflow section, we saw all the tents were being torched. I'm going to show you videos now to show you what I'm trying to say and what we have been through. And I will tell you why it is important for me to speak about this issue as we go in my explanation. All right, so let's go to the video that we have.
Yo! They're bringing the pulpit, isn't it? The pulpit. They're bringing the pulpit. Ay, Baloy.
It is believed that someone came over here to set this fire. As you can see, these are massive tents, which we elected them, we spent so much money. But some people came over here and set a brazen fire over these miracle tents. But in all things, we thank God because their will and their plan will never prevail over God's plan. And this is God's calling, and we know that He allowed this thing to happen. Um, as, um, as you have seen this type of behavior, and where our church was touched, this is not just touching the church, but there were reasons behind this. There were reasons behind all that. I'm going to mention as we go what is really going on and what is really happening. And I'm going to also mention about some of our other important issues that I have to address tonight. Apart from that, in the church, one day, there was a person who almost shot me as I was ministering, as I was preaching. It took the people of security in the church to handle the situation. And we have the video as well. Our cameras, security cameras in the church captured the incident of what happened when a person almost shot me when I was ministering. And you ask yourself a question, why are these things going on and why are these things happening? And we can only answer as we go with our briefing today. So I'll show you just in a few minutes from now. I think I can show you now the video of what happened. And let's see this. All right, as I'm explaining this to you, as I'm explaining this thing to you, I also have to show you something that is very important. Earlier this year in February, I was in the car with my guys. And luckily, by the grace of God, God helped us that on that single day I did not use my car. I was in another kind of different car. And when we arrived here in Santon, we had people following us. And these people, you will see them, they kept on reversing their car. And one person, when we parked the cars, they targeted the car where I was. One person ran around the car. One person went to my bodyguard and pointed him with a gun and said, "Where is Bushiri?" And fortunately enough, I was not in the car where I was. And when the bodyguard said he's not here, they quickly ran, jumped into their cars and left. This incident happened at one of the garages in Santon. And we also reported the issue. These issues I'm telling you, we opened cases, police cases. And I will show you the video now of what happened in Santon. And as I said, these guys came straight. My driver had walked out and my bodyguard was out. We were at the garage and they went to him and they said, "Where is Bushiri?" And when they said he's not here, and guess what they did? They ran away. And we reported the issue, and I think some of you are familiar of what happened. And I'm going to show you now the video of what happened. And we managed to get a video from the garage with the assistance of the police and the investigating officer. Let's just see the video. All right. All right. As you can see, part of the video, which is in the custody of the police, the investigating officer of the incident. You want me to ask a question to say what is really going on. I will not mention of the instances where people came in church and confessed themselves that they were sent to shoot me. I will not mention those moments and those incidences because it's not much of what I want to address today. But I've just showed you a few things, and one would ask a question: why would they burn a church with a fire? Why would they try to shoot the prophet? Your answer is as good as mine. Some few years ago, I got a newspaper, and I heard of a newspaper that I'm being investigated, that I transport 15 million rands out of South Africa every month in my private jet to Malawi. This was a shock to me because I never heard of such type of investigations. To make matters more better for me, each time I traveled, the whole 2018, each time I traveled to Malawi, for some reasons, I think it was part of the investigation, the police, they searched me over 100 times. Whenever I'm going into my private jet, they searched the private jet over 100 times. They searched me over 100 times whenever I'm going to Malawi and coming back to South Africa. When I'm saying searching, I don't mean just searching. I mean they were searching everything in the jet, everything in my bags, and in all these attempts, they found nothing. It was shocking to hear that I was transporting 15 million out of the country using my private jet. And this was in the newspapers, and the police answered that they are doing part of the investigation. And as they're doing their investigations, I was told that as they were doing part of the investigations, it was quite interesting to find that in all the investigations that they were doing, they were more media-based, because I heard this issue in the media, and I never heard of this issue from any institutional and authorities. As you can see, that says Hawks Pro Bushiri as 15 million a month, leaves SA. I want you to read that again. That's actually on internet until today. I want you to read again. Hawks Pro Bushiri as, you can read that again. Hawks Pro Bushiri as 15 million a month leaves SA. Okay? That is not wrong, or it was not at all any problem to be investigated by the police. But I will tell you what is wrong on that. I will tell you exactly what is wrong on that as we go. That investigation was done some time ago. That news was done some time ago. As we speak, that article is still on internet. I have not heard how far the investigation has gone, as I was blamed of removing 15 million rands out of South Africa using my private jet. As earlier on I said, I was searched more than 100 times. My jet was searched, I was searched. Nothing was found by the police or the investigating officers. But I heard from media that they were investigating me over that. Of course, it's their duty to investigate a person. But as I said, nothing is wrong there until I tell you what is wrong on that. What is wrong there? It is the fact that before that article came, some people came to me and said, if you will not give us 10 million rands, we will make sure we destroy you. They told me the people they're working with and how they will use media and how they will use the Hawks. When I say the Hawks, I don't mean the Hawks as an entity, but they mentioned some individuals in the institution, which shall not mention their names. When I heard that, I'm saying prior to that newspaper, prior, that's where everything goes wrong. When I heard these things, I also heard of accusation that they said, we'll also defame you and we'll make sure you get arrested of rape, that you raped people if you will not give us the money. And some of these people actually came in church to mention how some are men, some are women. We have the video I'll be playing very soon, how they said they were recruited, how to get money from me, how to use stories of women, how to do the whole thing. That was in 2017. And again, in 2018, these things happened, where so many people came to confess in church, and shockingly, most of these people who were involved in the syndicate were coming and mentioning some names of investigating officers that they are working together to solicit some money from us. I'm not just saying hearsays. I'm telling you what I have on record and what I have as evidences. And there are some of you who remember in 2017, I gave a warning to these individuals from Hawks that don't think I am foolish. Whatever you're trying to do, I'm recording you and all the movements, we are aware of what you're doing. And if you are doing an investigation against me, do them according to the law, but not according to threats, to blackmail, and as well as to soliciting money from us. This is not on. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm asking today with a strong voice and deep expression that this type of investigation must stop. You don't investigate a person by telling him privately that we're investigating you, and this investigation can stop if we get a certain amount of money. You don't investigate a person in that way. When the story of the 15 million that I take a man out of this country in my private jet came out, that story will not be deleted. It's on internet and to stay there forever. Until today, I am not told the end of that story, the end of that investigation. I am a public figure and I also need my name to be cleared. I'm also waiting from the Hawks, the same way they went to the media to tell the media they were investigating me of 15 million. I'm also waiting from them when they are done with the investigation, when they have finished the investigation, also to come back and tell the same media what their findings are. Because I believe as a person, as a public figure, as a TV personality, I believe that I also have the same rights that any person has. I'm in South Africa, and just as any person, I'm a resident of South Africa. And therefore, I also have got the right to the lawful investigations. To my opinion, there are so many wrong things that were used, or many things that have been happening in a wrong way in the so-called investigations against me. Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, what you must understand is I am not scared of anything, neither of these investigations. Trust you me, I actually would fight to see the end of these investigations. I am a public figure. I'm not a flight risk. I can't run anywhere. I am here. I stay here. I live in South Africa. I belong here. Where can I run to? There's no any place I can run away to because I'm a TV personality. I've got a church. I can't go anywhere else. I will look, to it to see that these law processes and investigations have happened, and I should see until the end of these things and how justice will be served. So there is no way someone should think I am intimidated or scared. I'm not. Or people should think maybe he can move out of South Africa. Wow. They began these investigations, searching me every day at airport in 2018, way before I was arrested. If I wanted, I could have run away that time. I heard these articles long time ago before I was arrested that they are claiming they're investigating me on 15 million. If I really wanted, before I was arrested, I could have then, long time ago, left the country. I did not leave because I believe that one day justice will prevail. And God is not a man. God is God. And I also believe strongly in the justice system of South Africa. And there's no way I can run away. I'll be running away from my own justice. I want my name to be cleared one day. So I'll be here until I see the end of all these allegations and all these things that are happening around. As I said, that these things began to come, not to me, not according to me, they were proper investigations, but they were malicious, defaming, as well as extortion. Because I knew of the newspapers coming prior, that they will write these things, they will start these things, they will do these things to me if I don't give them money. To some of you who you remember at the church, one time I was told that if I don't give them money by Sunday, they will send a helicopter at the church that will come and arrest me. We have the videos, we have the pictures, but because of time, I will not show some of these things. But in our dockets, we have them. I thought they were joking. To my surprise, a helicopter came at church, and most of you saw it. Police officers came in their uniform and they parked their car outside, and I was getting messages from these people to say, if you don't give us the money, we will land with a helicopter and we will arrest you. I never gave them the money. What I did is, same day, I did the following things. One, I left the church on the pulpit and I went out with a team of the leaders. We went to meet the Inspector General of Police, where I reported this issue. The Inspector General of Police gave me in writing, I'm saying in writing because it's what he wrote. He wrote a security proposal for our church. We have it in our possession. The Inspector General of Police referred me to the Minister of Intelligence. Upon hearing my story of all the extortion and as well as all the things I was going through by these people who claimed they have warrant of arrest, they will do this to me if I don't give them money, they will do that, they will do this, they will do that. So he instructed me to go and meet the Minister of Intelligence, where I went to meet him. It was on a Sunday. I went to meet him, and he, in my presence, he called for the Director General of Intelligence. In my presence, he briefed him, and I briefed him my story. Nothing was done. These things continued happening. I suffered a lot of threats, to a level where some of the threats were that they'll kidnap my children, to a level where I had to take my children out of South Africa to learn in Malawi for the sake of their safety, as it was completely no more safe for them to be schooling in South Africa. When I saw that there was nothing happening, I took this issue to the Inspector General, to the Inspector General of Intelligence. This is a different department from the Minister of Intelligence, as well as from the Director General of Intelligence. I went to the Inspector General of Intelligence, whom I have the transcript of everything I told him on that day. This is in 2018. I addressed all the issues, what I was going through, all the blackmail, extortion that was going on, all the rape issues they said they will bring to me if I don't give them the money. All these things I brought to their attention. A case was opened, but nothing was done. I therefore decided to take these issues to IPID. This is an independent police department where an investigation started. Whatever I'm speaking to you, ladies and gentlemen, I gave them. This is in 2018. As we're still speaking over there, a group called Not In My Name, when they heard all these allegations of rape and all these that were coming out, they started doing an investigation, because this is a civil rights organization called Not In My Name South Africa. They started the investigation. They began to investigate about these issues. We welcomed the investigations, that they should go ahead with the investigations, and they did the investigations. I saw an article on internet when they had started the investigation and the warning they had given me. So you can see there, Not In My Name SA warns ECG leader Shepherd Bushiri. All right. So this article was given, produced when this organization was investigating what they were hearing. To their surprise, they discovered that all the rape allegations I was having were completely fabricated, malicious, as well as people were trying to get money from me. According to their own investigations, I saw on internet as well, they came back with their investigations. And this is what they actually, on internet, their newspapers that had come out and wrote. Not In My Name can't authenticate sex crimes against Bushiri. In that article, you're going to find out that they had done their investigations against me after they had warned me, and found out that all these issues of allegations had issues to do with money, had issues to do with character damage, and nothing to do with lawful investigations. I repeat, I'm not standing here to stop any investigation. If anything, I would really want investigations to happen and justice to prevail at the end of the day. So I'm not saying I'm standing in investigation, no. In fact, I want these things to come into justice, and I would want one day to clear my name. So I'm not saying, oh, he's trying to stop an investigation. And I'm not saying a new story. It's all on internet. It's all with us. We have got all these proofs. We have got all these videos. We have got all these things with us. So this organization investigated us, investigated me particularly, and they discovered that much of these things that were happening were completely fabricated, and they were malicious, and there were some interests of some personalities involved in these investigations. As I said, I'm calling for lawful investigations. I'm calling for investigations that are based on merit and not on extortion, as well as on blackmail. Blackmail is not allowed. With strong terms, I want to say, nothing you're going to get from me. Whosoever is involved in these things, one day my voice will be heard. I've gone into different departments who have opened cases, but one day our voice will be heard. It is shocking to hear that the comment of some officials today, they were saying, where was Bushiri for the 3 years? Why didn't he take these things? I did all I could. As I said, cases were opened. Investigations were also opened on these issues. As I continue speaking to you, after having all these stories by a group called Not In My Name that had said they were investigating me, you must imagine there is a word rape there involved, and I'm very sensitive to such type of issues because I strongly, as a person, stand against gender-based violences. I have issued a document in my church that has gone to all branches across the world against gender-based violence, including rape. And I'm very sensitive to such type of issues. And upon hearing such, as I said, that this article is still on the internet. This group investigated us. They came back. They found nothing. As months went by, as a common saying of Nelson Mandela that says, when you climb one mountain, when you think it's over, behold another mountain in front of you. When we thought things are getting over, we also met another mountain where we had a serious tragedy at ECG that claimed some lives of people during the stampede. This stampede had happened, as we all remember, in 2018 year end, due to the storm that had happened. And when people were fighting for shelter, we lost some lives. May their souls rest in peace. We cherish them and we love them, and we declared them as martyrs. However, something came out. From those investigations, a group called Sanko that claims they fight for the rights of South African people rose against the same South African people who are members, followers, founders of the Enlightened Christian Gathering Church by saying the church must be closed. I believe it's not Sanko, but few personalities in it. Sanko is a reputable organization in South Africa that works for South Africans and with the South Africans. But there are some few personalities that have got issues of extortion. And then I'm going to talk about them soon. This group rose up and said the church must be closed. And the most shocking part, they began to burn tires outside the church that belongs to South Africans. For your own information, the church in the Pretoria main branch, and as well as at the national level, I am not involved in any of the directorial roles. The national pastor of ECG, the whole South Africa, is a South African. The resident pastor of ECG Pretoria is a South African. 2 deputies who are called associate pastors are South African. In this room, as I'm sitting to you, I've got a few pastors. He is a South African. 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 So this church is a South African church. It's managed by South Africans. The directors on the church registrations are all South African. So to have an organization standing to say this an organization that fights for the rights of the South African people to stand and they say that the church must be closed, I don't think is a right thing to do for South Africans. Because this is the same organization that must stand and work together with the society, and I believe the church is society. So this organization went to the Church of South African people and started burning tires. We have a video when they were doing these things, and them claiming that our church must be closed, and also that I must be deported out of South Africa. Bushiri must go back home. That's actually the cards they are carrying in their hands. Bushiri say protesters demand that Bushiri leave South Africa. Protesters demand that Bushiri must leave South Africa. Like on earth, that's so xenophobic and very, I don't know how I can describe it. There's a tragedy that has happened at the church, and then we have got this person using a very good organization, a reputable organization, coming to say Bushiri must leave the country. What's the connection over there? Your answer is as good as mine. This person makes moves privately to me, and he says, I need 1 million. If you don't give me 1 million, I'm going to make sure your church is closed. And this person makes serious statements to me. I will do 3 things. He says, 1, I'll make sure your finances are investigated. 2, of which we all know right now I'm being investigated over my finances. 2, he says, I'll make sure you get deported out of this country. And 3, he says, I will make sure that your church is closed. He does not only say those things to me, but he goes on television and says them. That we have the video, I'm going to play it. I will make sure that he's deported, his church is closed, and his finances are closed. I think you're going to give us with audio. If you can give us the video with audio.
And we are pleading to South African, the president, the city of Tshwane as well, to make sure that immediately Bushiri must come here overnight so that he can be able to terminate this contract here with immediate effect. Because we cannot allow the situation whereby this Nigerian prophet, they don't make money to where they're coming from. If they are prophet, they must go back to Nigeria and make money there. So we're not going to allow him any longer, because enough is enough.
You can hear that. If you can hear that, first of all, I'm not from Nigeria. I think it was his mouth mistake. You know, sometimes when people fight you so much, they become so angry to a level whereby they even make mouth mistakes in pronouncing where you're coming from. But if you can hear that statement, right? There's another video where he says, I don't know if we have that video, where he says, I'll make sure that the prophet must be investigated financially. I'll make sure that, he must go back home. It's also there. You can actually find it on YouTube. And this man comes out and says, I'll make sure the prophet is investigated. It's all on over there. What happens after his statements? All right, let's play the video.
SANCO will meet with the city of Tshwane to discuss the future of Prophet Shepherd Bushiri's Enlightened Christian Gathering Ministry in Pretoria. SANCO's Gauteng spokesperson Abraham Mashishi says they will also ask the Hawks, the city of Tshwane and Chapter 9 institutions to investigate the finances and legality of the church. Members of SANCO have been protesting outside the church at the Tshwane Event Center since the week.
You hear that? To investigate. This is accepted. It's allowed to do investigations. But what's not allowed is when he now came to me and said, if you don't give me the 1 million, I'll make sure you get arrested, your finances get investigated, and you leave. What does he do? We are taken to an organization called CRL, where he takes us there to say the church must be closed. All right? When we go to CRL, we are taken for hearing. We sit down, and CRL is one of the most reputable organizations in South Africa, one of the biggest organizations in South Africa that promotes the cultural rights. And also not only the cultural rights, but also of religious affairs. They sit down. We are blamed that we did not comply, we did not do this thing by this organization. This man that you saw over there, but I knew when I was sitting there that this man, he wants 1 million, and he says if I give him 1 million, he's going to drop these things. And I said, I'm not going to give him the money. We go before the CRL, and upon going before the CRL, don't forget what he said. He will make sure I get deported, the church is closed, and my finances are investigated. This is not what is going through, what I'm going through right now. These are the things I'm going through. And you can have the answer of why am I going through these 3 things right now. We go to CRL, we go for a hearing. As we are seated over there, as you can see, that's a CRL. We go for a hearing, and right in the hearing, what happens? They make a ruling that the prophet and the church, they complied with the city according to the law. We win the case in the CRL. The hearing favors us. What I'm telling you, in front of the commissioners at CRL, this man stands up and begins to swear them. He begins to swear them in my presence, in the presence of everyone. He begins to swear at them. Well, this was the hearing, and this was what the ruling was. Let's listen to the ruling that had come out on that particular day.
Regarding the submissions made by the ECG Church and SANCO, the Commission reminds as follows. The demands that Prophet Bushiri must leave the country are discriminatory. It is the responsibility of the Department of Home Affairs under the Immigration Act of 2002 to administer any immigration matter. The demands that the ECG Church should be closed are unwarranted and against the spirit and letter of the right to freedom of religion in terms of Section 15 of the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa. These utterances also violate the right of persons belonging to a religious community, that is ECG congregants, from practicing their religion, as per Section 31 of the Constitution. This further violates Section 18 of the Constitution, outlining freedom of association. Findings. The Commission finds as follows. 9.1 Compliance. The application by ECG Church for the event of 28 December 2018 was fully compliant with the bylaws and the Safety at Sports and Recreation Events Act 2 of 2010. The press statement issued by the Mayor on the 11th of January 2019 that the ECG Church was not compliant was unfair, unjust, and prejudicial to the ECG Church. The statement wrongfully depicted the church as non-compliant. It ignited the community to demand further that Prophet Bushiri should leave South Africa.
All right. As you have seen, The judgment comes out that we complied. What comes next? This person makes a journey to see me at one of my hotels personally. And when he comes to our hotel, he finds workers there, he finds everybody there. He says, I'm looking for Bushiri. And all the workers recognized him because they had known him on the TV or fighting me. So what do workers do? They give him a seat and they call for me. And there were so many workers that actually saw him, and some of them wanted the pictures with him. What happens? He sits there and he tells me for the first time to see this man. He says, if you don't give this money, we'll go ahead to destroy you. At the very same time, there's another group of people that I had reported to the Inspector General, to the Minister, to the Director of Intelligence, to the IP, another group of people that began to come in 2018 January and also claiming 10 million. So I'm having now two groups of people that now they're using issues of money, threats, blackmail, and all these type of things. So I'm dealing with different groups of people here. And as we all know, most of the times, the friends of your, the enemy, of your enemy becomes your friend. This man began to make relationships with those other groups of people eventually. 1st February comes, I was arrested of fraud and money laundering. Well, I was arrested together with my wife. We were taken and we are on bail as I'm speaking to you right now. News went all over the world that I've been arrested. I have no problem with that. Any other person in South Africa must abide to the law of South Africa. And if they're arresting you, there's no problem with arresting any other person, doing investigation on you. I am not immune to that. I have no problem with that. It was okay. It is okay. The issue is in the court, and I'm handling it in the court. But what I want to ask for, from the government of South Africa and from the civil rights organizations who are in South Africa is to understand one thing is I believe that you don't arrest a person in order to investigate. Almost 70% of the investigations happening of me happened after I was arrested. We got so many questions. So many of my people were called for questioning. I suggest, according to the law, this was supposed to happen before I was arrested. This did not happen according to that way. It has given me a picture that I was arrested in order to be investigated. Mind you, Mr. Mashishi speaks of we investigate his finances, and this is what I'm arrested for. I'm calling for these investigations. I'm asking for the investigating officers and the law of South Africa to do these investigations within the ethics of law. And I trust in the justice system of South Africa, and I believe that at the end of the day, justice will come out and we will know the outcome of this case. As I said, I'm not a flight risk. I'm not going anywhere. I am here. I live here. And I'll make sure that I stay here through all this legal process. Let me also make this statement that when I was arrested, so many things also transpired. The issue did not stop of having different groups of people coming to say they want to confess that they are being recruited to say they were raped by myself. When I heard this, I did not want my leaders to handle this issue. But we said whosoever is bringing this issue must take this issue to our lawyers. Our lawyers advise those people to write affidavits at police centers. And we have with us over 7 people who explains how they were recruited, how they were told to come and say they were raped, and how they wanted to walk out of this issue. We didn't want them to say or to talk to me. Rather, I refer them to, and our leaders refer them to lawyers, where the issue was referred back to police centers, where they went and wrote affidavits. Furthermore, to continue, let me go quickly to the issue. 3 days ago, I was told by my lawyer that there is a woman who wants to confess. I said, to confess? To confess what? He said, actually, looks like she has got something to say. So this woman met my lawyer, but to the surprise, it was very late in the evening. She says, there is a story that is going to come out on ETV against the prophet. And I am interviewed in that interview. But we want to say this. If you give us money, we will not air this interview. My lawyer takes a phone and begins to record her. She says, why are you recording me? My lawyer says, because this, what you are saying can be used against you or against the prophet in the court. This woman says, I need money. And shockingly, the lawyer sent me the video, and I personally posted it on my Facebook page and said, this must stop. We will not do. And I said, ETV, you can go ahead with your story, because we are having questions from ETV. And we try to tell ETV that this is not a story. This is what we have. They want money from us or not to air the story. So we don't want to comment on such type of issues. What happens? ETV goes ahead to show the story. And ETV hides the faces of the women speaking, hides their identity, but shows my face, shows my identity, and shows my name. You ask yourself a question, why? The answer goes back. They were taken there by a man from Sanko, same man called Mr. Mashishi. Took them there. This Mr. Mashishi admits himself that he took them there. If you read today's newspapers, he admits that he's the one who took them to ETV. For what reasons? Your answer will be complete after you watch this video, where the woman comes to say, if you pay us money with his Sanko, this video will not come out. Now, I play the video for you.
I'm not fighting just nobody. I'm fighting a person here who is major one. It's not just anyone. You know, even today, Sanko, Justice, and Hawks, they said there's 50,000. I never said it's me alone. Yes, I have someone, but some people are still there, but they are not here yet because they approach me. You know, even today, they called and they're like, what's happening? You've been
Who called you today?
Sanko, Justice, and Box. No, even the TV, I talk to them every time. I'm the one who will, like, if I don't want to do it, I don't want to do it. If they're just supporting me. Yeah, I was promised something here, so I think I have to live with it. So I can't just come here for nothing, really. So even when I get home and say, Mom, then we talked, this is what is happening, I'm going to have to call those people, this and this and this and this. Take this 3,000, go and buy Koza. She'll be happy. I have something like 50,000, blah, blah, blah. They said there's 50,000. For me being here, it shows that I'm agreeing, we are communicating. Then you'll be giving me energy to even wake up in the morning and call those people. It won't be easy. I need to make things up and lie. So lying, and everything is money, it's chosen. And everything is money, it's chosen. I'm not fighting just nobody. I'm fighting a person here who is major one. It's not just anyone. So when I leave, I have to tell them. So I'm here. I came here for you guys. So now I'm leaving with nothing. But I have to do this and this and this and this. You are just naming things. You must also make me happy. That's why I'm here. It shows that I'm communicating. So I'm saying, you want me to do this and this and this and this, ne? I'm saying I'm willing to do it. But do you understand my side? So that's why I'm saying, I'm calling the people tomorrow, my friends, this and this and this and this and this. No, I told him this. Then he said you guys are crying or something. Then I went down. I said this. Then it's like there's another problem again. Then he told me about 50,000 or something. What if I'm being videoed or recorded?
It's fine, it's okay. Even if you're idiots, there are cameras everywhere, so everything is can be used against them.
Can't, you're a lawyer. I have to be sensitive around you. Can't just talk to you as a brother, because one day to be used against me.
Like that one, I can't deny.
All right, you have seen yourself, and I will leave it there. You can make judgments yourself. This is a woman who went on ETV, hiding her face, saying I was raped by Prophet Bushiri. If you saw our videos, some of the videos we haven't even showed you, but they are on our social pages, where she was claiming 2 million, 3 million. You know, this is what is happening right now. Okay, I'm not trying to come here and say, oh, well, whatever investigation must stop. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying the manner by which the so-called investigations are happening is not a right way. It's not if there are investigations of which for 3 years I just hear from these people to say, we have opened a case with, against you, and if you give us money, we'll share with the investigating officer, will not continue. One of the lady who was in the video on ETV saying she was raped by the prophet, she last year as well was on a radio station claiming if she's given 7 million or 2 million, she will not take the case. She will not do anything on a radio station, and the whole country was hearing. And guess who took out that radio station? Mr. Mashishi of Sanko. For what reason? All right, let's listen to the mother of this so-called victim, what she is saying in an audio. She sends the audio to one of my guys, and this is what she says. I'm going to play her audio, and I want you to see, as I said, we have serious evidences. I haven't even showed you anything. All right, we have got serious evidences, and I'm going to play this. This is the voice of one of those ladies who was on TV claiming she was raped. All right, and as I said, it's very important that I show these things. Calling for lawful investigations, not just saying we are investigating the prophet, but what is happening behind this investigation is completely not lawful. I am calling for these investigations, whatever it is, if there are investigations, to be done as per law, as what the law says. So it's very, very important to understand this. This is what this woman says in this audio. All right.
I think Sunny, maybe Z again says, and then she's looking for money for schooling. So maybe if he, I don't know, if maybe I can come on my own again and then settle everything for good, so that and then we don't be after him anymore, because it's as if and then we are after his money while, and then so I've already forgave him.
Now, if we play this audio, it's a long audio that we can play here. It's a long audio. But this woman, she's saying, if he gives us money, all right? She says, if he gives us money.
I think, Sunny, maybe Z again says, and then she's looking for money for schooling. So maybe if he, I don't know, if maybe I can come on my own again and then settle everything for good.
Now, if you see this woman, it's a long audio. But you hear her saying she's looking for money, and she's looking, she wants to come herself to settle the issues. It's a long audio that if I play it for you.
That, and then we don't be after him anymore, because
He said when they get the money, they will not be after me anymore. This woman's child is among those women appearing on ETV saying they were raped. You can tell me what is going on here. Your judgment is as good as my judgment. I am calling for lawful investigations. If I'm being investigated, can these investigations be lawful? To my conclusion, these investigations that are happening, most of them are happening based on hatred, malice, extortion, as well as blackmail. I'm requesting and asking the justice system of South Africa to intervene over this issue. I have done what I could. I have met the Inspector General of Police. I have met the former head of Hawks for Gauteng. He is called General Mokwatedi in 2018, who I explained to him all what is going on and all what is happening. I met the Minister of Intelligence, the Director General of Intelligence. I met the IP in this about 2 to 3 years ago, where I reported these issues. Once again, I am requesting for lawful investigations. If there's any investigation, it must be based on merit, not on defamation, character damage, as well as persecution. To the church, we are going through tough moments. I believe there is no mountain that God cannot help us to conquer. There is no any valley that we can fail to pass through. I believe to those of you who are busy doing unlawful investigations, you have heard my advice. For there is a saying that says, listen to others and even the dull and the ignorant, for they too, they have a story to tell. Do not underestimate a person based on his origin. Because I am from Malawi and you think the justice system will not prevail. I believe in South Africa we respect everyone, and I believe in South Africa we love everyone and we love our African brothers and sisters. I come from a country and I'm respected in my country by my government. I was given a diplomatic passport, and I believe and think I deserve respect also as a human being on any investigation. If there's any investigation, let it happen according to the rules of our law in South Africa. And may it be legitimate investigation I'm calling for a legitimate investigation rather than an extortion investigation that I hear it from the people who claim they are victims and they want money, who claim they are masters and they are political controllers and they can control things in a certain way that they want. You can have problems with me and do anything you want to do to me. One thing I would request you from doing is stopping the church. The church comes first before I. I am already persecuted together with Christ Jesus. I died in my body. I bear the marks of Christ. For me to live is Christ, and for me to die is gain. I fear nothing. There is no way to run away. There is no way to stay where I am. The only way I can do is to approach the situations as they come. The only thing I'll request you from doing is do not play with anything or do not touch anything to do with the church. I'm ready to suffer any persecution on anything or any consequences from your side, but respect the church. For this is what I live for, and this is what I would die for. Thank you all for coming here, for listening. Go into your rooms, into your fastings. Pray for me. Pray for my wife. Pray for my children. Above everything, pray for the enlightened Christian gathering church. Together, we can stop any spiritual force, for we are not fighting against powers and principalities, but we are fighting against forces, unforeseen forces of darkness. And I believe in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ, nothing by any means shall stand against me and prevail that has got no justice in it. In Christ Jesus, I believe we are more than conquerors, and no weapon formed against us shall prosper. For me, I once repeat this statement. For me to live is Christ, and for me to die is gain. I received Jesus and crucified my body, and I fear nothing. And I'll preach this gospel without compromise. And I love you, and I'll go ahead and tell the whole world that Jesus died and rose again. He's seated at the right-hand side of the Father, and he's going to come on the day of rapture to take his church, those who have repented and confessed their sins and received him as their Lord and their personal Savior. I love you. May God bless you and put him in prayer and put everyone in prayer. See you tomorrow on the midweek service. And for all international visitors, you will be seeing me soon after this. I love you and shalom.
Welcome to ECG Online.